The Hayate is a tier 10 Japanese waste of free experience, and before you say anything, don't worry, I didn't spend the eye-watering 2 million free XP that this ship would cost to buy normally.
Are you serious?
I received her from a Santa container, which makes this ship even more painful, as I know it could easily have been one of the other ships from the tier 10 and rare ships list. Let me get this clear right at the start of the video. Do not buy this ship. If you've come to this video looking for a recommendation, you're not going to get one. Stay well clear, buy the Groningen instead. You're going to get a way better ship and have a much better time. So if you came here just to know whether or not to buy the Hayate, there you go, I saved you some time. For those of you who came here to watch me suffer trying to talk about this ship, get ready, we've got a lot to discuss. Let's start by talking about what the Hayate actually is. When a mummy Shimakaze and a daddy Harugumo love each other very much, they make a little baby Hayate. I wish they'd use protection. Hayate is effectively a fusion of the Shimakaze and the Harugumo, except instead of receiving the best elements of both worlds, she got the worst. She has Shimakaze's guns, albeit with a higher rate of fire, and Harugumo's handling characteristics, both of which are awful. And she has concealment and size, which is roughly in the middle of both parent ships. Let's start with her guns, and whilst it's true her guns are significantly better than Shimakaze, that's like saying you're significantly better at drawing than a 2-year-old. It's not exactly an achievement. Let's take a look at the chart of the DPM of all tier 10 destroyers. Here's Harugumo at the top, so surely we won't have to go down too far to find Hayate, right? 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 She has worse DPM than literally any gunboat for fuck's sake, and it's only slightly better than Shimakaze at that. And even if you get into a gunfight with a Yu-Yang or a Smalands, you're still likely to lose, as even though you have slightly better DPM, you're the size of a small city, making you such an easy target. You're outspotted by Yu-Yang and Smalands too, meaning they can get the drop on you. This means the only ship you can realistically beat in a 1v1 is the Shimakaze, which is literally the bare minimum, and even then she outspots you by half a kilometre. So sure, her guns suck, but maybe her torpedoes can salvage her? Well, they're much like Coldplay. Okay, she only has the option of the 12km Shimakaze set, and to be honest, this is the best choice anyway. Remember, she loses 1 torpedo launcher over Shimakaze, which amounts to 5 less torpedoes per salvo. However, she has access to something that Shimakaze doesn't, the Torpedo Reload booster consumable instead of a smokescreen. This allows her to have an almost instantaneous torpedo reload every 4 minutes, enabling her to have 20 torpedoes in the water at a time. This is admittedly pretty impressive and unique for a tier 10 destroyer, and may make her seem, on paper, like a pretty decent torpedo boat. However, this is forgetting about the incredibly large elephant in the room, which is her handling, or rather lack thereof. Let's play a game. See if you can guess which one of these is Hayate and which one is a tier 10 heavy cruiser. I'll give you 3.7 seconds to guess. Wrong! They're both tier 10 heavy cruisers. This is Hayate. At least her rudder shift is somewhat respectable, but because she's as big as your mum, she feels so clumsy. At least her speed is somewhat okay at 37 knots, but even that's 2 knots slower than Shimakaze. This brings us on to the main problem that kills this ship for me. She's a better gunboat than a Shimakaze, but she's way worse than Harugumo. And the fact that she inherited her handling from the Harugumo kills her as a torpedo boat, as although her armament is decent on paper, she's so clunky to sail that it makes her so hard to use in a way that keeps her effective and undetected. If you want a gunboat with high DPM and you're okay with sacrificing some maneuverability, play the Harugumo. If you want a stealthy torpedo boat who can unleash waves of nuclear warheads on her enemies, play the Shimakaze. Hayate exists in the purgatory between these two ships, and the only thing she does well enough to justify her existence is having this sick-ass camouflage. She was designed to be a cross between a gunboat and a torpedo boat, but if you want a ship that's actually good at this hybrid role, the daring is better in every single way that matters apart from torpedo damage. Instead of spending 2 million free XP on Hayate, you could unlock daring, Shimakaze and Harugumo, each ship respectively being better than Hayate at the roles that they are spec'd out for. I actually can't understand how anyone chose this over the Smaland, but if you did, please let me know why. I'd love to see if I'm missing something super obvious that unlocks this ship's potential. Whoa, that was almost a serious review with some actual advice there for a second. I think we need to bring the tone back down a little. Much better. Here's how to equip your plus size Shimakaze. In slot 1, take main armaments mod 1. In slot 2, take engine room protection. You don't want to waste the coal on the ship for engine boost mod. In slot 3, take aiming systems mods or torpedo choose mods depending on whether you want to be a B-Tech Harugumo or Shimakaze. In slot 4, take Propulsion Mod, as surprisingly her rudder shift is actually pretty decent. In slot 5, you already know. In slot 6, take Torpedo Shoes Modification 2, or take Main Battery Mod 3 if you want to lose every gunfight 3 seconds later than you would otherwise. For captain skills, choose something like this, although I'm sure if you have enough high point commanders to make a dedicated captain for this ship, you already know what you're doing. Please let me know in the comments what you think and what ship you'd like to see covered next. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I will be shot by Susan Wojcicki if you don't. Now don't go out there in this thing, play daring instead.